Right now, there are gamers out there collecting a lot of this so they can survive the upcoming semester. When you're on a tight budget, the assumption is there is no way you can afford a serious PC for gaming or homework. Definitely homework. So normally I tell people on a budget to get on Craigslist or OfferUp, go meet up with some shady dude in a dark parking lot to get a good deal. But for whatever reason, a lot of people aren't willing to do that. So in this video, I'm gonna show you how you can get a PC that can handle all kinds of homework for under $400 without having to leave your home. This portion of the video is sponsored by LastPass. LastPass is a tool that helps you remember all of your usernames and passwords without having to remember all your usernames and passwords. It prevents you from getting locked out of all of your accounts because LastPass will remember all of that for you. I have about 40 accounts that I need in my life. Stuff from my bank, to my emails, to my YouTube account, to my website information, etc. There's no way I would be able to remember all of those passwords without using the same password, and let's be honest, you and I both know that using the same password for everything is the best way to lose everything you own. It also helps you avoid having to reset the passwords for accounts that you absolutely refuse to memorize the password for. There's an unlimited amount of accounts and passwords that you can save, so make sure you check this out. The link is in the description. Download LastPass today. This portion of the video was sponsored by LastPass. Now, let's get back to the rest of it. Okay, now that your parents are done watching, listen up, kid. This is what I believe to be the best bang for your buck for gaming for under $400. You can order all of this online, so there's no worries about secondhand parts being faulty or lack of warranties. Also, between you and me, there is a small chance this computer is barely capable of streaming. So maybe you can low-key start your esports career while your parents think you're becoming a doctor. I'm not sure though, we'll find out later in the video. So, here's what you have to get. First is a Ryzen 3 1200. Right now on Amazon, you can get this processor for $60. This deal, as well as some others in the video, require Amazon Prime. So if you don't have it or can't afford it, at the very least, you can get a 1-month free trial to order everything you need. This processor is good enough for gaming. However, if you can afford to make a substantial upgrade and get a Ryzen 5 1600, it is only $50 more. Links to all of what I'm talking about is going to be in the description. Next is the motherboard. We are ordering the Gigabyte A320M because it is the cheapest thing that we can get all of our parts into and will work correctly. It's only $55 and it gets the job done. For the RAM, we are using 8 gigabytes of Crucial Ballistic Sport that is clocked at 2666 megahertz. This is only $39. Now, I don't love only giving someone 8 gigabytes of RAM for a system. However, we're broke, so we'll have to get by. Just make sure you don't open a ton of tabs on this computer. I'm looking at you, Chrome. For the graphics card, we are using a refurbished RX 570, the 4 gigabyte variant. This is the strongest card that we can afford on this budget. Now don't take that the wrong way. This is a great card and will put out some more than playable FPS when it comes to games. However, like I've touched on earlier, we're going to try to be streaming off of this computer, and we're gonna be trying to do that off of this graphics card. So while we're gaming, may be too big of a task to ask for, but we'll see. This is $105 on Newegg, and honestly, if you can find a better deal, go for it. Next is our drive, and we're gonna be using a 240 gigabyte SSD from Inland. This goes for only $30. We're using an SSD because we want faster boot times and load times when it comes to all of our programs and games and homework. Now, if you really want to save an extra $10 for ramen or Tito's, you can actually get a 120 gigabyte version for only $20. However, on this computer, I imagine that you want to be able to install more than just Windows and Rainbow Six Siege. For the power supply, we are using the EVGA 500 BR. I'm pretty disappointed with this because it is $45. In my opinion, that is a lot to be paying for a bare minimum power supply. But unfortunately, this is one of the cheapest options online, and it is enough to power our computer, so we're going with it. And lastly, everything is going to be inside this DIY PC JAX 11 case. Now, if you already know this case, then you know the bad news. But for those of you that don't, I hate to break it to you, you're not getting any RGB. With a budget like this, I valued getting better parts over how the computer looked. Your broke ass can't afford the shiny this time. I'm sorry. Other than that, the case actually looks pretty nice. It's got a simple design and it hides cables pretty well. It's a micro ATX size case, so this build will be pretty snug, and it only goes for $30. Okay, so if you add everything up, all the purchases from Newegg.com and Amazon.com after shipping and taxes comes out to $397.46. Like I touched on earlier, there are some pretty substantial upgrades that can be made to this system for just a little extra cash that will also be linked in the description. However, for the sake of this video, we want to show what strictly under $400 can do. So now that we have everything, we're going to build it and install everything on it so we can test out the games as well as the games while streaming. it's done. I didn't even realize it, but we apparently got a pretty simple, clean looking black and white aesthetic, which I like. I mean, considering we're not paying attention to looks at all, it looks pretty good. I think everything's put together correctly. Let's flip it on. 3, 2, 1. Is it working? Oh wait, we do get RGB, look! You guys get the Gigabyte logo. Yay, we got it. Okay, so the computer works. Before we close this thing up, I'll let you guys get a quick look at it, and then we'll do the best part of every build. Oh no, I ripped it, come back! Saved. Let's install everything. Okay, so we have everything installed, and the first thing we're gonna do is test Unity Heaven, Minecraft, CSGO, League of Legends, Fortnite, and Cinebench R20 to get a general feel for how powerful the system is, and then we're gonna try it with streaming and see what games are even possible at this level of performance. Okay, so the performance of this PC is actually pretty strong, especially considering we paid under $400 for everything brand new. Now, obviously, if you can't tell, the graphics card is out of the system and we have another graphics card in the rig. Well, the biggest concern I have with this parts list actually happened. This RX 570 is busted. It is a refurbished purchase, but like I touched on earlier in the video, the plus side to buying everything online is that we are protected by warranty and returns. This can be returned. Now, I highly doubt this is going to happen to you because I've purchased a ton of refurbished products in the past, and honestly, it's the first time it's happened to me in the last year. This is the worst case scenario, and all you have to do is file a complaint and they will refund it or replace it for you free of charge. Inside the system, we have the RX 470, which if you want to check on YouTube, the benchmarks for this card and the card outside the system that doesn't work are almost identical. The RX 570 has, at best, a 5% better performance on some games. The performance you've seen in the benchmarks in this video so far are going to be pretty close to what you would get with the working RX 570, but now it's time to see, can the system do what we are hoping it can do? We're going to try streaming off this PC with the games, and I will get the footage off of a separate computer so we get an accurate depiction of what the viewing experience is like. Okay, now for the streaming, this computer actually did a lot better than I thought it would. Reminder, we are using the RX 470, not the RX 570. So when you do get this system and you use the RX 570, you're looking at least 5% better performance. The lighter titles such as Minecraft, League of Legends, CSGO ran smoothly. Now keep in mind, the settings we used for streaming were not incredibly intense because I'm afraid to push the system, but it handled the settings better than I thought it would, so you probably can go a little bit more intense if you choose to. We used a 3000 bit rate, our canvas was 1080p, but we decided to downscale it to 720p, and we were streaming off of the GPU, not the processor. The Ryzen 3 1200 processor, in my opinion, and I'm pretty sure you can test this yourself or look it up on other YouTube videos, is not strong enough to stream. 4 cores and 4 threads is typically not strong enough hardware to get that done. As for the frame rate, we were also only streaming at 30 FPS. Now I know most gamers and most streams like to keep it at 60 FPS, but keep in mind, this is a $400 system and you were expecting to stream off of it. For the performance we got, as you can see in the footage, we actually did an excellent job. And personally, in my opinion, I have seen streams at this quality and it's not so low that it turns me away. Obviously, if you're just gaming on this system, you are gonna have more than a fantastic experience and be able to push up to higher titles in case you wanna do regular playthroughs of story-like games. And if you're more of a streamer and you're using competitive esports titles, which are typically a little bit lighter to run, you will also be able to do that as well as stream. This, in my opinion, is the best value computer you can possibly build for yourself if you are wanting to use all new parts or only order from online retailers. So that's gonna be it for this video. And if you wanna buy any of these parts for this system, all links will be in the description. Anyways, I hope you guys found this creative, entertaining, or informative in any way, shape, or form. And as always, have a great day.